Hello, everyone. It's Lydia with the Oneness Junkie podcast and YouTube channel. And I'm excited to introduce you to our next highlight guest. I'm sitting here with Sis from Georgia. Hi, Sis.
How you doing?
I'm doing good. So glad to see you.
Well, I'm glad to be on. Thanks for
Yes.
inviting me.
Well, thank you for being here. So I look forward to introducing how I know Sis, and then we're going to get Sis to introduce herself so y'all can get to know her better. But let me first start off by saying that we have a mutual friend who connected us. And she basically gifted me an opportunity to work with Sis on numerology. And we're going to dive a little bit deeper into what numerology is and what it can do for you. I just have to tell y'all that Sis did not know me, she's never met me. And the information that she shared about my life and my future and who I am and what I'm all about was really spot on. So much so that I wanted to have her on the podcast so other people could get to know how maybe numerology might help them figure out a little bit more about themselves. And maybe a lot of people who are searching for what their purpose and passions are could help them really hone in and focus more on matching their passions and their purpose with what they were born and meant to do in their lives. So, thank you again for being here. Sis, will you introduce yourself and give us a little background so we can understand, where you're from and like how did you even get into numerology in the first place?
Hmm. Well, I wanted to know more about myself, why I'm here. And, a lot of people question that, who am I and why am I here and what am I supposed to be doing? What's my purpose? Now, everybody has a purpose or you wouldn't be here. A lot of people have a mission. And so those are the ones that are really seeking to be closer to, say, a philosopher and trying to find out the truth. As because we're not always taught the truth in school or with through our parents or anything else. So we have to work at it. So I guess I got into it because I like numbers and they kind of intrigued me. And then you find out it also has to do with your name. Your name is very important, and everything is encoded in your name. Your birthday, the whole birthday in numerology is a big general purpose. And so everybody with the same birthday and even on the same year is not going to have the same life path. But anyhow, that will give you certain numbers when you add them and reduce them to single digits. It gives you a better idea. And then your name, though, like your birthday is why you're here. And each letter of your name is a tool for you to get that job done. It's like if your birthday tells you if you're here to cut trees, but you were not given a name that has the tools, say that would be a saw or an axe, you know. So each letter, depending on how it's made, straight letters, curved letters, things like that. And and also it's the when I'm saying, I don't even know how to put this. And it's the place, each letter has the placement in the alphabet, and that's a lesson for that time. Say, if you have a O in your name, that's the 15th letter of the alphabet. So the lesson is 15. But when you add the one and the five, it's a 6-year cycle. So your whole name, whether it's a long name, a short name, some people start studying numerology and I think, oh, I've got a short name, I'm going to die at the end of my name. It's not the truth. Short names, you start over and you learn the same lessons on the higher vibration. So the vowels have to do with spiritual things and what's in your thoughts. And the consonants have more to do with your personality. But you have to put the whole name together. So you can see each letter means certain things, but you still have to look at the whole name to see if a person is going to be using their energies in a negative way or a positive way, because
Let
there's polarity to everything.
let me ask you a question. There's a guy on
Mhm,
the internet, and I consider him one of my current spiritual teachers. He's even
mhm.
younger than me, and he's so great at teaching, and he has a lot of following. His name, I'm going to tell you his name, and I'm going to tell you how many vowels he has in his name. And what you just said about the vowels represent spirituality, it makes a lot of sense. So let me tell you, his name is Aaron, Aaron. So that's three vowels in one first name, but his last name is Abke, Abke,
It's what they start over.
which is two more spiritual vowels, right? A and E on Abke, Abke,
Spell his last name again.
Abke,
A
Abke,
B.
Abke, K
That's it.
like in Kelly, A
A
B
B K
K
E.
E. Yeah, with the E. So he's got an A and an E, an A and an O. So he's got a lot of vowels in his name. And so no wonder he's a spiritual teacher affecting the world, helping bring light and love to the forefront because that's his
Yeah.
main, like he's so gifted at that and I love listening to him.
Yeah, but do you know what his middle name is?
Oh, I
You have to
don't.
look
I
at
don't.
you have to look at the whole
I'll
name.
have to send him this little clip of this video and see if he can let
Yeah.
you know what his middle name is. But why would that, I mean, I know it matters, but are you saying like it can counterbalance all the vowels by having too many consonants or something?
Well, not too many. Well, you can get too many. Too many of something is like, a piece of chocolate cake is good, but you don't want to eat the whole cake.
Right, like out of
'Cause then you
balance,
don't
right?
have
When there's
then you
too
don't have
much
a
of some.
balance. You want to keep some balance. But with just that name, see, he's lacking a lot of energies. Um, he's got
Poor thing.
the A is a one energy, and it's a 1 year cycle. And the O is a 6 year cycle. And the lesson is 15 with that, we just had said. And now the B and the K in his last name, those are both 2 year cycles. And if you look at the letters like they're all capitals, the B, and like I said, is symbology of the letters. You'll see the left, we're looking at the B, and the left part of the the letter is straight, and it's like it's got his back to the past. So he
Oh,
would
he
be able
does.
to.
Yeah, he would. He did. He grew up in a religion, and he's got his back to that because he's heading to a higher vibration now.
Mm-hmm. And then the front part is the curved, and it's facing to the right, and that's forward. Upper part of the letter is the spiritual part, the mental part, the imagination. The B, bottom part of the loop, is on a baseline. So that's good, except the B signifies, say, like breast. And so it's like nurturing. And so he would be nurturing, especially, or have somebody to nurture or need nurturing himself during that 2 year cycle. Now, the K is also a 2 year cycle, and it starts with a straight line, the spiritual line, but it has these arms out, forward, and it's open. See, the bee is totally enclosed, and he'd be good at keeping a secret. So the K is open at the top. That's the wanting to spread the word, and it's open to the right, and so it's for future reasons, and it's also open to the material world at the bottom. But Egyptian hieroglyphs made the K, the straight line with it's like arms reaching out, like gimme, I want something, then they're willing to work to get it. So just with those letters and those the B and the K, they're consonants, so that tells more about his personality. The the vowels he have now that if you look at the letters that are um, any letter, not just the vowels, but any of the letters that are upside down and backwards, the same. Say like a H, a S, a X, a O. N. Those letters are as powerful on the spiritual plane as they are on the material plane. So, like if you can turn them upside down and backwards, they'd look the same, right? But the P and the K don't do that. So, um, the A, he starts off with two A's. I always call that's like the football player, the lineman. He's got 2 feet on the ground and he's ready to roll. He's blocking.
He's stable.
So, so he's open to the material world there. So, but it's a 1 year cycle, and it's like if you look at all the letters as with the symbol, that it's like the thing that you squeeze to put the air into the fire. What do you call that? The
Oh,
billows.
yeah.
Yeah, it was like that. So that's getting something quick and starting a fire.
A fire starter.
And,
Yeah,
and
I
yeah,
mean, first of
putting like
all,
energy into something to make it grow.
right. Okay. So, first of all, I want to apologize to Aaron if he sees this because I wasn't intending to reveal all this stuff about him. However, hopefully he finds it helpful and beneficial. And we are going to redirect so we can highlight something that I am in control of, which is myself. And we can talk about my numbers and my letters. But I just want to say that Aaron is an amazing spiritual teacher. I've had a lot of spiritual teachers in my 55 years, and he is exactly where I need to be right now in his teachings. If you have never met him or don't know who he is, go to his channel, Aaron Abkey, and learn about all that he's teaching, as well as the Law of One and the A Course in Miracles. And he's talking a lot about what's going on in the world right now. They have an awakening podcast that they're doing. They have 2 episodes. So I just want to say thank you, Aaron, for all that you are doing in the world and the light that you're being. And I'm going to close that chapter about Aaron. Let's move on to, I want, when you describe, what something is, help us to apply it, because what people don't, why I want to have you share your gift with the world is so that people understand, how can this benefit them? How can they understand more about themselves? So when you describe something, let's try to apply it to a real world scenario. So if you're complete in introducing yourself, let's dive in and use some of the tools and the information that you shared with me. And you can talk about the information that I will bring it back up, because you're not going to remember when you did mine, but I'm going to tell you what you told me, and then you can describe how that's pertinent, or how that can affect an individual and how they can use it to their benefit. Because I want people to know that your services that you offer can help create clarity and understanding, and that might be something someone needs in their life right now. Maybe they feel blocked, maybe they feel stuck, maybe they don't know what direction they want to be in. Just talking with someone like you can help put definition and maybe even a focus on something to put some, and you're talking about that pump, you're like the pump, put some energy into someone else's life to get them focused in a direction. So, were you complete with introducing yourself to the audience?
Oh, well, you had asked me how I got into this. And the main thing was, well, I did say I was interested in numbers. And I found out letters are even not necessarily more important, but you need the letters in your name to know why you're here, what your mission is, and what tools you have to get your job done. And not just for yourself, but knowing yourself is great. The sign up above all the temples were know thyself. And so knowing yourself is the most important. But also, if you have relationships, sometimes I'll have to go to a business and they have a work relationship with 15 or 20 people, and how to best deal with them also. And I
Yeah,
know
how to
some things.
manage certain circumstances, right? You can give some tools to understanding others, right? So you can work better with them.
Yeah, and one example I usually use is say if you were a salesperson and you were going to see somebody for an interview, and it would be good to know a little bit about them just because of their name, and not just with the
That's like a
device.
superpower.
Well, yeah, say if you're going to sell somebody something and you meet a person named Carl, the C is the open mouth. And so this person is going to want to do more of the talking. But if you have to talk to a person whose name starts with a D, they're going to be better listeners. So you can figure out how to approach them a little better and not make anybody mad right off the bat. If you're going to ask
Wait,
a favor.
what's an L? Because I'm an L and I was a salesperson. So what is an L? They're open, right?
Well, L is the 12th letter of the alphabet, and that's you got your back towards the past. But you're on a level ground. You've got the foundation there, the L, and you're gonna know what's gonna be best for you. The one comes first, and then the two. Say if your name's starting with a U, that's the 21st letter, and the two would come first. But it still depends on who you're talking to. You know what you're going to do, but you're going to do it your way because the one comes first in the 12. It's a three energy, and three is like three energy. It can be scattered, on the negative side, but it can also be fun. So I would say you're a fun person
Oh, I
because your
think
name
people
starts
would
with
say
an
that.
L.
I'm definitely fun. I like to live with joy in my life.
Yeah. So you're going to do what you have to do to make things fun. Even if it's work, it's going to be fun. It's not going to be a job. It's going to
That's
be
right.
fun
You're
work.
right. I had a boss for the last 15 years, and the reason we worked for 15 years together is because we got things done and we had fun doing it, and we
Right.
were compatible in that way. So it made life and work a joy, to be fun and enjoy having to get big projects done, together in a joyful way. So yes, you're right. I mean, that's what I want people to know, is that you really know your stuff. You really do. And it was so fascinating when you did me. It was so fascinating. Do you want to dive in and give, you want us to talk a little bit about some of the things I wrote down so people can understand how accurate you really were?
Yeah, whatever you want to do. That's
Okay.
fine.
I want people to understand that, a lot of people don't trust these
Hmm.
types of things. They don't trust psychics and intuitives and empaths and, medical practitioners who have an intuitive ability to see beyond, and when you're open to just saying, I'm going to take what I feels right and I'm going to leave at the table the things that maybe don't align with me. There was only one thing that you said. I'm going to show the audience. Okay, so I was in the car when she called me and I had to grab an empty envelope that I could open up and find every little corner to write my notes on while she was talking to me, because I didn't have a notebook. And there was, of all the things she said about me, just by having my first name, middle name, last name, birth date, the birth date, and then the location, that's all you needed, right?
I don't even need the location.
Oh, you didn't even need that.
Mhm.
So just the birth date
Yeah.
and the
The
year and everything, and then my
full birth
name, my
name.
full legal
Mhm.
name, right?
Yeah.
Everything.
Yeah.
No nicknames or anything
Astrologists
like.
use the location for the astrological signs, but I don't do that with the numerology. It don't
Okay.
matter where you're at. Now, if you were adopted, now that would matter and depend on when that happened.
Okay.
Say if you were adopted when you were 2 months old, you would normally go by the adoptive name. But if you were already given a name and that's on your birth certificate, that's still a modification of what you're here to do and the tools you have to do it with.
Yeah.
So the people who are just born and stick with the same name, and even when you get married or change your name, it only changes about 20 to 25% of
Of your life
how
path.
you're going to do something, not what you came to do, but how you do
Okay. So what I'd like to do in this podcast episode is to help people feel more comfortable being open to having conversations with you and or other people similar with other types of gifts, to just understand that there could be out in the earth people who were gifted that were here and with their purpose. Because I'm not going to learn numerology. That's what sis does. That was her path. That's what she's came to this earth to help others through numerology. So you just find the people that you trust, that you can, have an experience with. And I want y'all to know how, by my own reference, about how I had experience with her, that she is someone that I feel like has the real true gift, and that you can trust her if you're curious. Okay. So let's dive in to a couple of things that you told me, and you can explain stuff. Again, you don't have to remember these things. I'm just going to tell you what you told me, and then we'll talk about them. So you took my name, which is Lydia Joy Smith. You said that it was like a 24 years to learn my lessons. Does that make sense? Do you remember that? And then 38 years to get through the Lydia and the Joy, I guess, before the recycling was going to happen. Is that what that means? The 38 years?
Well, you go through a different transition. So the first name, if you add all the letters together, it's like your first name is primary school, your middle name is high school, and your last name is going to be your college years. So you've already
Right. But
done,
of your
you've already done
evolutionary
some of
path,
it.
right?
Yeah, and the letters that you're without in your name are going to be lessons that you get from other people. And that's why I was worried about Aaron without, not having the middle name. It's like, oh, wait a minute, we need more tools. But
To understand. Yeah.
yeah,
So I
you
just
have to
want to
look at
tell
the
them
whole
something.
picture.
Oh, go ahead.
Yeah, the whole picture. Um, but the why, you say this why, the why, the symbology of the why is like the spiritual self standing there with the arms reaching up, and it's a
That I'm
crossroads.
open. Oh, it's a crossroads.
Yeah. So and it's a 7-year cycle. The Y is the 25th letter of the alphabet. So it's the 2 and the 5. So you're going to be dealing with relationships. And the 5 has to do with changes, freedom or restriction of. It's not a karmic lesson or a karmic debt. But the reason I stuck with this for 40 years is it's what told me it's the karmic things that show up, that you're no longer the victim of anything. Then you can say, well, I had that coming. And so you have nobody else to blame for anything. It's you had it coming, and you can appreciate, say if somebody is not very nice to you, um, you still can learn something from it. It's not, if you don't take it personal.
Yeah.
Sometimes
And
some people have karma with another person that it is personal. But anyhow,
right.
that's why I've stuck with it so long. That's what lifted the load of bricks off my shoulder, was knowing that stuff that had been done um, was actually done for me, not to me. And so then that frees you up to be more open and learn more about yourself.
Yeah. And not live your
Um,
life like a victim. Right.
right. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that's powerful. I want to tell the audience something that you would have never known about me, that you figured out from the details that you had, which is pretty significant. And some of my audience who's heard me tell my life stories have knows this. But the first thing out of your mouth on our conversation was so heavy, and it was so amazing that you knew this about me from my words. But you basically said you're going to encounter 3 different types of suicide in your life. Not personal. I haven't personally had to, I've never tried to commit suicide, but there have been already two major relationships that I've experienced suicide in one way, form, or another. One, my sister actually did commit suicide, and she did it while I was standing next to her, and she created an accident to make it look like an accident, but it was intentional. And then another situation I don't really want to talk about because it's personal to someone else and it's their privacy. But you said there was somebody else in my future that I'm going to deal with it. But, I have to tell you, when you told me that, it didn't scare me because I feel like all those other previous experiences has prepared me to have a better understanding about suicide and how we do have the choice to choose to stay in this earth school and learn our
Mhm.
lessons, or sometimes it's too much for people and they choose what they choose, and that's their choice, but they're not getting away from anything. They're just delaying it. They're prolonging it.
Yeah. Yeah,
Right?
and things will show up in names. There was one guy I had read for, and you could tell by his numbers that he had anticipated that he wanted to kill himself, and
Yeah,
he had
to
tried,
end his
not
life.
real hard, but he had tried. But by looking at the whole name and the birthday and everything, putting it all together, you'll be able to tell a person that's way depressed or have it's crossed their mind that they might want to commit suicide. When you can tell them that those times, when those times are going to happen, and then when they see it coming, they can do something about it. They can give themselves an attitude adjustment or say, well, if it's going to last, I'm going to feel this way this length of time. So if I can make it through this length of time, I'll be clear for a while. And it may show up 2 or 3 times in a person's name that they may um, think about it. And so if you give them when that's going to happen and when they can get the reprieve, that they usually don't do it.
Okay, that's interesting. So when you did mine, you had these categories. You said life path, your expression, your soul. You remember those categories you were telling me about? What
Mhm.
are there like five, and what are
No,
those to help the
there's
audience
four.
understand?
Yeah,
Because I was a core number 9. My life path was a 9, and you called me a humanitarian.
yeah. So the life path is the whole birthday together. If you add the month, the day, and the year, each digit, reduce it down to either a double digit, the like 11, 22, 33, still going to give you those, you're going to reduce it down to a single digit. They're going to come out the same. But if it comes up uh, that you're in a 2, except it came from an 11 to ones, that's called a master number. Any of the double digit numbers,
Which I
you didn't
had.
have that.
I think I was an
No,
11.
you didn't have that in the life path. You're a 9, but the 9 is called the humanitarian. So you're here to give back and to help others.
Yeah,
And so
and the
that's what
truth,
you're
and
doing.
for everyone who knows me, that's what these podcasts I do. I have 3 podcasts and I don't get paid for them. And yes, I'm putting myself out there, but that's not new. I've always been like this, even when I was 15 and 16 and 17. So she's right. I am interested in helping bring, people up and lift them up, and myself
Right.
included. That's who
Yeah,
I
that's
am,
part of
and
your
she was
job.
right.
Yeah, that's
What
part of your job in life is to help
Yeah,
other people to reach their potential.
exactly. And what's so cool is learning that from her, it only validated, and like it keeps you stronger. Like when times are tough and you're struggling or suffering through what you think you're supposed to do, but it's not working out for you, and you're like, oh, I got to go do something else. Just being reminded that this was your life path, stick with it, stay with it, and keep going. That was really helpful to me when I talked to her. And then you talked about my expression was an 8. Do you remember
Hmm.
what expression 8 means?
Well, the 8 has to do with doing it on a material plane, and 8 is what goes around comes around too. So in past lifetimes, you've had help in getting to where you were. And so in this lifetime, you're helping other people get to where they need to be too. So
Yeah.
the expression is how you do things and how people see you. Your life path is what you came to do. Your expression is how you express yourself and how you get it done. And then the third core number, what was your soul urge number?
A 3. A 3,
A three.
creativity and energy.
Yeah, that's three is very creative. And it does it in a fun way too. So the threes are fun, but sometimes you can get scattered. If you try to do too much, you may get scattered. And and then your birthday, the day, what was your birthday?
Of it, you mean like Monday or like the 11th?
The day,
The
not the
11th.
date,
Oh,
11.
I don't know what day it was. I
Oh
don't know.
no,
Maybe,
I don't mean the day of the week. I mean the number of
oh,
days.
11. It was 11.
Okay. Okay, well there's your master number, the 11.
Yeah, which is
So you don't
powerful,
do
right? I've
you
heard
don't do
11s are
yeah.
power.
And so the life path works with your birthday. And those two together, about 50% of your whole purpose. And so the birthday is only about 5%, but then the life path is 45% of your purpose. And so the 11 is for illumination, for shining your light on other people.
Yeah.
And so you're doing that to help other people because you had people help you in previous lifetimes.
Yeah, and I love it. I love lifting. I love highlighting you right now. I love talking to Duty earlier. I love just letting
Mhm.
people shine a light on other people and help them be known, to
And that's
others.
your job. And
Like
with your totem,
introducing them to other people so other people can benefit from the good that everyone has to offer.
right. And the soul urge is from a soul level what motivates you. And so you do it in a fun way, a creative and fun way. So that's your core numbers are very important. Those
I
are the
know.
two.
And people who know me, and now that I have this other YouTube channel, the wellness channel, they're getting to know me a lot better. So when they hear you describe how being, they're going to say, that's how I see her. She's fun. She's lighthearted. She's,
Mhm.
out there. She doesn't care about, worrying about what other people think. I like to bring freedom to people's experience, by representing freedom so that it gives everyone else the opportunity to consider freedom for themselves. So before we wrap up, because I do want you to mention a couple of things that
Mhm.
um other things you do, but first I want to mention a couple other final things you told me about this experience. So number one, I love the fact that you said, oh, I'm supposed to, come into some money in a month or two. And I'm like, oh yeah, I hope you're right on that one.
Yeah, well, that eight energy helps you with that.
Yeah, well, good. Well, I hope that
Mhm.
works out
Yeah.
because I'm, would love to have something come through for me. But I want to let everyone know that you also have this ability to tell us our totems, which was kind of new to me. And I'll remind you what you told me my totems were, and we could talk about it. So you said Lydia Smith is the dragonfly, the metamorphosis, and a duck, like if it walks like a duck, if it quacks like a duck, it must be a duck. Like, so what you see is what you get for
Mhm.
authenticity, right?
Yeah.
You didn't know
So
anything about me and you were spot on. I mean, I'm all about wanting to be authentic. And even if it's to my detriment where I look stupid or, incapable or something, I don't care. It's like, this is who I am. Like, just love yourself. I try to love me in all my, all my mistakes or whatever, is out there. It's just learn how to embrace who you are, right? No matter how we express ourselves.
yeah, well, I made up the totems. I've seen other totems like the Indian totems and stuff like that that are more family oriented type things. But with the totems that I do, it's the same number would vibrate to the number that you're called. See, Sis is my middle name, but that's what I've always gone on, used. And but your legal full name is going to give you a different number than the name that people call you. And so, but just like the duck, it don't have a name unless you name it something, give it a name, but a duck is a duck. And so the same number that vibrates to your used name would vibrate to the same number of the duck and the dragonfly.
Yeah.
So that's
And you
and that would be your totem, is the name you go by. So when you first introduce yourself to somebody, you don't say your full name. You don't say all three names, but the name you normally go by, when it vibrates to the same number of an animal, an insect, anything that
yeah.
it has some of the same energy. And you
Yeah.
can, and then you can study up on the animals or the insects or whatever that has the same vibration, and know that you're going to have some of those same attributes.
Yeah, well, you said my full name is a bear, a dog, and an ant. Expert at problem solving, which I am. I'm really good at problem solving. I mean, I just know that about myself from my jobs. I'm a good problem solver in my work life environment. And then, where there's a will, there's a way. That's the energy of what the dog or the ant.
Mm-hmm.
Is that the attitude of an
The
ant?
dog is so loyal, and the ant is a workaholic too. Ants don't
That's
give
why I have 3 podcasts.
up. Right.
Right. Most people just do one. I've got 3. So, all right. So, yeah, I loved my totem. I loved, the turtle too, which represents endurance, protection, stability, wise, going at my own pace, their own way and their own time. That was another big totem for me, was the turtle and the dragonfly
Mm-hmm.
were like my 2 big totems, you
Yeah.
said.
Yeah, and you didn't know that the dragonfly did a metamorphosis like a butterfly.
I know, my nickname's
So,
Butterflidia, and I didn't know that a dragonfly changes. What are they? They're like, are
yeah.
they a what are they? Are they also a caterpillar or whatever before?
Well, I don't know exactly how they do it, just like I don't know how a butterfly does it either. I mean, it's very odd the way that happens. But yeah, well, I got started on those, even on the insects, because there's a what they call it, a cow killer ant. It's the red velvet big ants that you always see just by themselves. You know what
Uh-huh.
I'm talking about?
Yeah.
Well, they're really pretty, but they're always by themselves. They're not like in an ant bed you know, that the ants come
Like a
hunting.
team. They're not a team.
Yeah. And so I thought I'd read up on them and just see exactly what they are. But people were calling them cow killer ants, but they don't go around killing cows. It's just that if they ever do bite you, you'll think it's bad enough that it could kill a cow. But they're actually not ants. There's a they're a wasp, but it's in a different form. So they do a metamorphosis also.
Wow.
So there's different types of ants. And so when you look up, if you study up on ants and see how many different kinds, you'll see that you vibrate more with one type in particular, just like the bear. There's a polar bear, there's a brown bear, you know, there's all kind of different bears. And so
That's
there'll be
funny.
one that really sticks out in your mind that, yeah, I'm more like that bear. And I used to make these bracelets that have the little silver animals on them, and you can put your totem animals, on the bracelet. And then when you see one, you think, okay, that's me.
That's funny. I do wear a butterfly on, see right there, I wear a butterfly on my, it
Yeah.
spins around on my bracelet. So
Hmm.
that's a, representation that I connect with, for sure, is that transformational butterfly. So
Yeah.
in wrapping up, let us, I want to hear just a little bit, maybe like 2 or 3 minutes about all these other things you do that you've had years of experience in. Um, you said you did iridology, and how does that work?
Oh, yeah. Well, I studied with Bernard Jensen. He's the one who pretty much wrote the book on iridology. And so I've been practicing that. I'm a naturopathic doctor, so I do that for diagnosis Well, we're not supposed to say we diagnose anybody, you know, that's FDA patent word.
Right, for entertainment
Mhm.
purposes.
Yeah.
You
So
inquire. But you
I've
did
been
that for
married
40 years, right?
at least 40 years, you know, because
Yeah.
he's long passed, a long time.
Yeah.
But
So if
yeah,
people want to get in touch, don't give your phone number out, but is there a way for people to get in touch with you, or do they need to get in touch with me so I can privately give them your information? How can people reach you? Do you have an email or a website or
no,
anything?
I don't even have a computer anymore. Electronic things bother me.
Okay, so
I
here's what
used
I'll
to,
give.
because I have,
Here's
you know, I have written a few books on them, but I did get rid of the computer. Matter of fact, I gave it to Duty. But
Yeah,
yeah,
I think.
electronic things don't work good with me. I don't
Okay. Well, here's what we're gonna
don't
do.
feel
We're
good.
gonna I doubt there's gonna be, like, too many people, but if y'all want to get in touch with, Sis, I'm gonna invite y'all to go to my website, onenessjunkie.com, and email me through the contact us form, and I can screen you and make sure that you're, have good intentions, and you really do wanna get in touch with her for her gifts and her talents, and then I'll get you in touch with her through an appropriate way. We just don't want to blast her personal information out on a worldwide, video stage. So you
Yeah,
can go to onenessjunkie.com and fill out the form and let me know that you're interested in getting in touch with Sis and some of the services that she provides, and we will get you in touch with her. How about that, Sis?
that'll work. That'll work.
Okay, good.
And yeah, I can do the phone readings for the numerology, the
Yeah.
iridology of somebody that can take, like you said, take a picture. Some people have a iridology camera and take the picture, and I can read it from there. And people that have those at different health food stores and things, they can send me pictures. But as far as the numerology, I get people from other states, other countries that will just call, send me a check or money order, but I have to have a reference, for them to do that. And then
Yeah.
I can do that
Okay.
on the phone.
Awesome. That sounds great. Well, we appreciate us letting you be highlighted today on the Oneness
Well, thank
Junkie
you.
podcast. I see you. Is Duty distracting you back there?
Yes, she is. She opened the door and she was making motions, and I don't know what she was saying.
She's probably saying, hurry it up because she wants her phone back.
Probably.
All right. Well, thank you so much, Sis, for letting us talk with you today. And I look forward to keeping our relationship alive. So thank you so much.
Sounds like a plan. Thank you so much.
All right. We'll talk to you later. Thank
All right.
you.
All
Have a
right.
good
Bye.
day. Bye.